Welcome to our college briefing show. Today, we're diving into a mix of stories that have caught our eye. First off, hats off to the Virginia women's swimming and diving team for clinching their fourth straight NCAA championship. The team, led by the phenomenal Gretchen Walsh, who snagged a record-breaking 7 golds, have truly set the pool on fire. It's not just about the medals, it's about making a splash and showing the world what dedication looks like. Switching lanes to politics, Ireland's Prime Minister Leo Varadkar has decided to step down, leaving many in a state of shock. Varadkar, known for his progressive stance and being a beacon of change, cited feeling he's not the right man for the job anymore, despite no scandal pushing him out. It's a reminder of the unpredictable nature of politics and the pressures that come with leadership. His successor, Simon Harris, has big shoes to fill as he steers the Fine Gael party in a new direction. Lastly, let's talk about the economic front, where restaurants in Australia and New Zealand are feeling the heat from the global downturn. With inflation biting and consumers tightening their belts, dining out has taken a back seat. It's a tough pill to swallow for the hospitality industry, already reeling from a post-pandemic labor shortage and skyrocketing ingredient costs. But it's not all gloom. There's hope that easing interest rates might eventually bring back the diners. Meanwhile, in the world of sports and society, from the courts to the construction sites of Indonesia's new capital, the stories today weave a tapestry of triumph, transition, and the trials of our times. So, stay tuned for the detailed scoop on each of these stories. Please continue to watch for more details. Virginia women win fourth straight NCAA swimming and diving championship, Walsh collects 7 golds. Associated Press. Virginia won the women's swimming and diving championships for the 4th consecutive year. The top-ranked Cavaliers finished with 527.5 points, well ahead of second-place Texas with 441 points. Florida, Tennessee, and Stanford rounded out the top 5. Virginia's Gretchen Walsh won 2 gold medals on the final night of the competition, setting an NCAA record in the 100 free with a time of 44.83. The Cavaliers won a total of 7 individual events and 4 of 5 relays. This marks the 3rd year in a row that Virginia has won 11 titles at the championship. Not the right man for the job. What was behind Irish PM's shock resignation? CNN. Irish Prime Minister Leo Varadkar stunned the country last week by announcing his resignation. The Taoiseach said he was no longer the best person to lead Ireland, though he denied there was any scandal or event that prompted his decision. Varadkar had become known on the international stage as Ireland's first gay, mixed-race prime minister. He had shepherded in progressive social change through a series of successful referendums and had drawn praise for his handling of the COVID-19 pandemic and Brexit negotiations. However, he failed to tackle the country's housing crisis, and his government suffered a significant defeat in a referendum to remove a constitutional reference to a woman's place being in the home. Varadkar will be succeeded by Higher Education Minister Simon Harris, who is expected to lead the centre-right Fine Gael party against a strong opposition from Irish nationalist party Sinn Féin. In Australia and New Zealand, restaurants struggle as downturn blues bite. South China Morning Post. Restaurants in Australia and New Zealand are struggling as the global economy slows down, with inflation, higher costs of living, lowered spending and trade fatigue taking their toll. Discretionary spending, such as dining out, tends to suffer first during economic slowdowns as consumers focus on paying for essentials like groceries or transport. Australia is suffering a GDP per capita recession, while New Zealand is officially in a recession. The hospitality industry is being hit by a labor shortage post-pandemic, while the inflated costs of ingredients and other inputs have forced up menu prices and turned off customers. Data company Creditor Watch's chief economist, Annika Thompson, said conditions started waning for restaurants in Australia last July when higher mortgage repayments and other cost of living increases began to bite. In the short term, a drop in interest rates could provide relief, but recovery will not be instant when rates fall, as it will take a few rounds of rate cuts for consumers to gain confidence about spending. Ping An exploring ways to expand in Hong Kong, Greater Bay Area, co-CEO. South China Morning Post. Ping An Insurance, China's largest insurer by market capitalization, is looking to expand its operations in Hong Kong and the Greater Bay Area, according to its newly appointed co-CEO, Michael Guoxiaotao. The insurer will examine the feasibility of different options for growth in the region, which has become a center for wealth creation, he said. Mainland Chinese visitors have been buying life insurance products and policies in Hong Kong since COVID-19 restrictions were lifted, Gui added. Mainland visitors spent 59 billion Hong Kong dollars, $7.6 billion, on insurance policies in Hong Kong last year, accounting for about a third of all industry sales. Dusty May will take over at Michigan, leaving Florida Atlantic after 6 seasons and a Final Four run. Associated Press. Michigan has hired Dusty May as its new head basketball coach, replacing Juwan Howard. The move marks a return to the Big Ten for May, who previously coached Florida Atlantic University. May's 6-season tenure at FAU was highlighted by a run to the Final Four last year. The Wolverines went 8-24 this season, their worst record since 1960-61. Shohei Ohtani interpreter scandal, major holes poked in Ippei Mizuhara's pre-Ohtani resume. Yahoo! Shohei Ohtani's interpreter, Ippei Mizuhara, who was recently fired by the LA Dodgers following allegations of gambling debts, has reportedly lied about his education and previous work experience. Mizuhara claimed to have attended the University of California Riverside, but the institution has said it has no record of him being a student. The Boston Red Sox have also denied Mizuhara ever worked for them as an interpreter. The revelations have raised concerns about the vetting process of Mizuhara, who became Ohtani's personal assistant and close friend after he joined the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters in 2013. March Madness, 5 takeaways from Day 2 of the women's tournament. Yahoo! There wasn't a single upset on Day 2 of the NCAA women's tournament, but there was plenty of excitement. Why do children laugh? It's not always because they're happy. ABC. Laughter in children and adults is more complex than it may appear, according to a study by Professor Ivana Bianchi of the University of Milan. Laughter is a response to something confusing or unexpected, a powerful, all-clear signal that a potentially threatening situation is harmless. Children laugh for different reasons at different stages of development, before they can grasp abstract concepts, while adults laugh for the same reasons, to signal the resolution of a potentially dangerous situation. Understanding the complexities of laughter could help parents improve babies' behavior and well-being, the study found. As Vietnam's Russian arms supplies dry up, who will it turn to for weapons? South China Morning Post. Vietnam's arms imports from Russia have decreased in recent years, with figures revealing that no new major orders were placed in 2023. This is despite Vietnam having an estimated annual weapons procurement budget of over $1 billion. Observers are calling for Vietnam to diversify its sources of arms or build up its own domestic defense industry. Vietnam has historically sourced much of its equipment from Russia, particularly during periods of tension with China. However, imports from Russia dropped off significantly last year, with Vietnam importing the fewest weapons since 2007. Russia's ongoing war with Ukraine is thought to be a significant factor behind Vietnam's falling weapons purchases. Concerns about the performance of Russian weapon platforms on modern battlefields, where drones, cruise missiles and electronic warfare are increasingly decisive, are also playing a role in Vietnam's decision to look elsewhere for arms suppliers. Vietnam is seeking to construct a strong, independent and dual-use defense industrial complex, with the help of military-owned conglomerates and the private sector. Gonzaga soars past Kansas into the Sweet 16 and makes it look pretty. Washington Post. The Gonzaga Bulldogs basketball team has won their way to the Midwest Region semifinal in Detroit after defeating Kansas 89-68 this past weekend. Gonzaga's performance was described as an hoop aria that showed the beauty of the sport as if it were a Federer tennis match. It was a display that made the audience realize that they were watching something exceptional. The Bulldogs' performance was a reminder of their strength as a basketball team and left the audience in awe. Gonzaga's head coach, Mark Few, said that, "It's kind of fly under the radar and just do your thing. And then it certainly probably fits my personality better." Gonzaga has become one of the best teams in the country, defying all the expectations that have been placed on them. The team has been able to keep their momentum going, and the players are confident that they are going to go all the way. March Madness 2024 Viewer's Guide, What to Watch and Skip on Sunday. Yahoo! Sunday's second-round games in both the men's and women's NCAA tournaments feature some must-see matchups. On the men's side, the clash between 2-seed Marquette and 10-seed Colorado is touted as a potential upset, with the Buffaloes having the potential to catch fire and light up the scoreboard. The game features 2 All-Pac, 12 players, Marquette's Tyler Kolek and Colorado's KJ Simpson. Reigning champion LSU is expected to blow out 11-seed Middle Tennessee State. The women's games include a potential upset when 4-seed Virginia Tech faces 5-seed Baylor. Virginia Tech may struggle without injured center Elizabeth Kitley, whereas Baylor has won 7 out of 8 games and has a strong chance of winning. Clemson's PJ Hall is a player to watch, as he has the potential to propel the Tigers into the second weekend. The 6'10" forward has been overshadowed by better-known ACC names, but has garnered 346 All-ACC votes. Sunday's time schedule. Associated Press. The article provides a schedule of various sports events happening on Sunday, March 24th. The schedule includes NBA games, NHL games, NWSL games, PWHL games, men's and women's college basketball tournament games, and various auto racing, golf, and tennis events. Construction for Indonesia's new capital to lead China's growing city portfolio. South China Morning Post. China is set to become one of the top foreign investors in Nusantara, the planned new capital of Indonesia. The Chinese government hopes that the investment will become the standout showpiece in a growing body of work building smart cities and other landmark urban zones in other countries. Analysts believe that these projects will help China connect with friendly nations to facilitate trade and give Chinese construction firms a chance to prove themselves abroad. Beijing-based state-owned builder CITIC Construction has already expressed interest in developing 60 residential towers in Nusantara. The Chinese government's Belt and Road Initiative has already spawned China-funded infrastructure projects in scores of countries, including ports, highways, and power plants. Construction of smart cities advances China's goal of increasing connectivity in countries near its borders such as in Southeast Asia. However, Chinese projects in Nusantara face the risk of delays, overruns, financing issues, and social stability concerns. Chinese contractors experience delays and overruns on the Java high-speed railway, and some Indonesian citizens and officials resent China over past disputes over mining projects. Court ruling limits utilities in charging customers more amid clean energy transition. Yahoo! New Mexico's electricity providers will likely have to increase prices and seek mergers to meet increasing clean energy standards. State regulations require utility providers to generate 40% of their electricity from renewable sources by 2025, 50% by 2030, 80% by 2040, and 100% by 2045. The New Mexico Supreme Court recently ruled that the state's public utilities could not charge customers more to generate more clean energy. To meet the rising clean energy standards, utilities will have to retire old power plants and build new renewable energy facilities. The cost of building new clean energy infrastructure is high, and it is expected that utilities will have to increase prices to cover the costs. Higher interest rates will make borrowing more expensive, further increasing the cost of meeting the clean energy requirements. Utility companies will also be looking to merge with each other to acquire the capital and resources needed to meet the state's renewable energy goals. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.